Hi, welcome to your channel, Generous, Gracious, and Gallant. I'm your host, Dr. M Ghosh, and I'm back today with another very inspirational story for all of you. The story I brought for you today is about the Battle of Pavan Khind, which took place on 13 July 1660 between the forces of Emperor Shivaji of the Maratha Empire and the forces of the Sultanate of Bijapur. On the side of the Maratha Empire were Commander Baji Prabhu Deshpande and Shambur Singh Jadhav. The commander of the Bijapur Sultanate armies were Siddhi Masood and Siddhi Johar. In the Battle of Pavan Khind, 600 men from the Maratha Empire took part, and 10,000 men from the Bijapur Sultanate took part. 300 men were lost from the Maratha army, and there were 5,000 casualties on part of the Bijapur Sultanate army. This battle is recorded in world history as one of the last stand battles. As a result of this battle, Shivaji was able to establish himself as a legend, a warrior par excellence, and he went on to becoming the emperor of the Maratha Empire. Before we go on to the complete story, I wanted to share with you a brief about the channel Generous, Gracious, and Gallant. The channel Generous, Gracious, and Gallant was started by me on YouTube in May 2020 to share with you stories of mankind at its very best. This was to enable the present and coming generations to live by the eternal human principles. The eternal human principles such as honesty, integrity, respect for diversity, respect for elders, work ethics are etched in stone and do not change over time and place. Living by these principles is the only sure shot way to success in life. Towards this end of inspiring you to live by the eternal human principles, we share with you truly inspirational stories of mankind at its very best on your very YouTube channel, Generous, Gracious, and Gallant. We also have a Facebook group and WhatsApp group which have about 850 and 210 members respectively, and there we share daily inspiration. I request all those of you who have not yet subscribed to the channel Generous, Gracious, and Gallant to kindly subscribe to the channel. Please also share these videos with your friends and family so that they too are inspired to live by the eternal human principles. Please also encourage them to subscribe to the channel. Coming back to our inspirational story, the Battle of Pavan Khind. Let me give you a background of this battle. In 1660 AD, Maratha King Shivaji was trapped in Fort Panhala. He was under siege and vastly outnumbered by the Adi Shahil army led by Abbasian Siddhi Masood. The Adi Shahis were invaders who ruled Bijapur Sultanate, and the king was Ali Adil Shah too. As he was vastly outnumbered and surrounded, Shivaji planned to escape to Vishalgarh fort, whose commander was Ranga Narayan Ope, and he was loyal to Shivaji. However, it needs to be noted here the Vishalgarh fort too was under siege from the Mughal armies. Both the Mughal armies and the Adil Shahi armies had reached an understanding to defeat Shivaji. While they were both independent kingdoms, the Mughals and the Adil Shahis, they undertook a pact only for defeating Shivaji. Shivaji, along with Baji Prabhu, his commander, and 600 plus battle hardened people from the mountaineering regions of Mantun, Mavel region, planned to cut through Adil Shah's troops at night. It was also planned that Shiva Kashid would disguise himself as King Shivaji and get captured to buy additional time for Shivaji and his men to get away. As per the plan, on 13 July 1660, Shivaji and 300 men escaped through Adil Shah's forces. They captured Shiva Kashid, who was disguised as Shivaji, and soon realized their mistake and started giving chase. The Adil Shah's troops had 10,000 men. Soon it became apparent to Shivaji and his 300 men that they would become pinched between two armies. One, 10,000 plus Adil Shahi Bijapur Sultanate army men who were chasing them, and second, when they reached near their destination of Vishalgarh fort, they would have to also take on the Mughal armies. It was decided that Shivaji would carry on with his force of 300 men to Vishalgarh fort, whereas Baji Prabhu Deshpande with and contingent of 300 men would stay back and hold back the Adil Shahi army of 10,000 men. Shivaji assured Baji Prabhu Deshpande that once he was safely at Vishalgarh fort, he would fire a cannon to inform Baji Prabhu Deshpande that he had reached safely. The place chosen by Baji Prabhu Deshpande and his 300 men was Ghod Khind, a strategic position which was a very narrow pass and only a few soldiers could pass through it at one time. The battle which took place was a determined defense of 300 soldiers under the command of Baji Prabhu Deshpande along with his brother Faluji Prabhu and Shambur Singh Jadhav. The battle carried on for 5 hours. Several were wounded, several died. Baji Prabhu Deshpande was severely wounded but continued fighting. His brother Faluji Prabhu and co-commander Shambur Singh Jadhav were killed in the fierce battle. 5 hours passed by. Shivaji and his battle-hardened troops of 300 members fought through the Mughal encirclement of Vishalgarh fort. A first fierce battle took place. Shivaji wore Dandpatta in both his hands and fought with the Mughal soldiers. Seeing this, the commander of Vishalgarh fort, who was loyal to Shivaji, Ranga Narayan Ope, sent reinforcements, and together with the help of the reinforcements, Shivaji managed to enter Vishalgarh fort and fired his cannon. Upon hearing the cannon and of the safe which signaled the safety of Emperor Shivaji, his commander Baji Prabhu Deshpande, who was fighting the battle at the narrow pass, finally gave up his life. In the battle of 300 men who had taken a stand at the pass, 200 men, including Baji Prabhu Deshpande, brother Faluji Prabhu, and Commander Shambur Singh Jadhav, were killed. The balance 100 Marathas, still left alive, thanks to the fierce defense they had put up, as was agreed, escaped to the jungles. Now, this army of Adil Shah, thanks to the fierce defense put up by the 300 members at the pass, was cut to half its force of 5,000 men. Imagine 300 men protected a pass and suffered casualty of only 200 men and killed 5,000 of the enemy. What a brave stand! What gallantry! What bravery! What passion for the motherland! What loyalty to Shivaji! Once the Marathas had escaped into the forest, the balanced Adil Shahi forces of 5,000 men carried on and joined the Mughal forces at Vishalgarh fort. Shivaji and his men, having been reinforced by the forces of Vishalgarh fort and commander Ranga Narayan Ope, fought a valiant battle against the combined forces of the Mughal and Adil Shahi forces. And then it is said that the losses were so heavy for the Mughal and Adil Shahi forces that the surrounding green valleys of Vishalgarh fort were covered in red thanks to the blood of the slaughtered Mughal and Adil Shahi forces. It was a strategic victory for Shivaji and his team. Emperor Shivaji crossed into the western Ghats and reached his capital Rajgad from the Konkan region. The Adil Shahi and Mughal armies were thoroughly routed at Vishalgarh. They suffered losses in the range of 70% of their men. The green valleys of Vishalgarh fort were painted red thanks to the blood of the slaughtered Mughal and Adil Shahi armies. Post reaching his capital, Shivaji then went on and met the family of Gallant Baji Prabhu Deshpande, honored his family, and recruited his sons as leaders into his own army. Ghod Khind, which was the strategic pass where brave, gallant Baji Prabhu Deshpande gave up his life protecting his emperor, was renamed as Pavan Khind or Sacred Pass. This battle of Pavan Khind is recorded in world history as one of the most famous last stands. Please remember, my friends, a small team of 300 soldiers took on and defended the pass and slaughtered 5,000 men of the Bijapur Sultanate. Another 100 survived and escaped into the forest after Shivaji was safely established in Vishalgarh fort. An amazing piece of history, bravery, gallantry. Friends, the Battle of Pavan Khind continues to inspire and motivate soldiers across the world. Friends, I am sure all of you are very fond of these inspirational stories, amazing stories which I bring to you from time to time on your very own channel, Generous, Gracious, and Gallant. I request you once again, kindly subscribe to the channel, Generous, Gracious, and Gallant. Please also encourage your friends and family members to subscribe to the channel, Generous, Gracious, and Gallant. This will inspire them to join our mission to live by the eternal human principles. Living a life by these eternal human principles is the only sure way to success. Friends, till we meet again with another awe-inspiring story, inspirational story on your very own channel, Generous, Gracious, and Gallant. Good luck, all the best, stay safe.